Hi, guys. Hi, Susan. How are you? It is really good to see you. I Can you hear me, Susan? Can you hear me, Susan? Hey, Chica. How are you? Okay, good. I'm glad you can hear me. I wasn't sure if the mic was working. It should be even better now because the mic has its fancy jacket. Hey, Kat. I'm glad you hear me. It's good to see you. It has been I was really tired this morning, so I laid my head down. Thank you, Susan. So I laid my head down to take a nap, and I just woke up. Like 5 minutes ago, woke up. And I looked at the time and I went, "Oh, shice. It is late. It is late." So I we talk about every week, we talk about how this book is. And I don't know, it just continues to be. You don't think I stopped at the part? Shice. Yeah. But it should sound better when I say words like that. I I did, Scooter Mom. Are you sure? So it is really important, guys. Um, it is. I am really sad to tell you guys. Um, Giving up on her. You didn't know how this ended. You're so funny, Kat. So I just heard you guys very, very sad news that Sin's husband has passed. For those of you who know, oh hell no. Paulo, hola, ¿cómo está? It is interesting to see Jenna starting to have questions about Scientology. It was it was lovely to see. It was lovely to see her kind of talk about how that all happened. That mean, I suppose these chapters weren't quite as awful as generally they are. Yeah, so sorry, I got completely distracted. Sin lost her husband today. I don't know any more than that, but let's all make sure and head to the scooter report tomorrow and show her some support. Let me get the link for the scooter report. Hold on a second. I just got the news. So I want to share the link with you guys. Yeah, prayers for Sin and her family. She has questions but turns right around and digs in harder. Yes, Kat, exactly. Let's see. We want to make sure and get to well, that's the wrong link. But if you want to join Club Brain Fogs, whatcha diggy, certainly do that right away. Sorry, guys. Let me try this one more time. Try one more time. There we go. That's the scooter report tomorrow. It's okay, Jen. It's okay. It was a little shocking, that's all. You guys, should I change the blurred background? I don't know if I can. Let me look. Yes, I can unblur the background. How does that sound? Sorry about that, Robert. So please, y'all, remember Sin in your hearts. Remember, oh hell no, in your heart. Say prayer or light a candle or whatever it is that you do for the people you care about who have lost others. I turned it off. Is it better? Sorry about that, guys. I didn't realize it would make you dizzy. Now you can see Midge. Okay. Guys, I'm so silly. I have been looking and looking for where is my phone. I couldn't find my phone because I wanted to check it. You're welcome. You're welcome, Scooter Mom. It's terrible news. I hope that Sin is doing okay. um, as best as can be expected considering the circumstances. And I really encourage everyone to hit the scooter report tomorrow. So, chapter 18 and 19. Justin left. That's what happens first in this chapter. Justin left. She wasn't even sure if she'd ever get to see him again. One of the sentences that struck me is Justin had been a much more frequent presence in my life than my parents. At the ranch, I used to see him every day, something that hadn't been true of my parents for more than a decade. So she's once again leaving consistency. She's losing consistency with the people who talk to her. And then the next sentence, I realized all at once that people I loved could leave me behind, that maybe someday I would find myself the last one here, the final believer among us. So sad that at such a young age she recognized the chance of Justin being declared. Yeah, she was terrified about it. And she's 15. Yeah. In early 1999, shortly after I turned 15, the church celebrated the re-release of LRH's Volume 0 of his 8-volume organization executive course set. And everybody's supposed to buy this brand new book. $80. $80 in 1999. How much is $80 in today dollars? I don't know if it matters any too much. Um, how much is $80? How much? $80 is worth $192.53 today. $192. She was being paid half pay, only $25 per week. And sometimes I'd go 3 weeks without any pay at all. Unbelievable. You can't share or borrow it. Likely to help boost book sales. You think, guys? You think it's likely to help boost book sales? I don't know. And then her father mails her, so that's excellent. $192 in 1992. Today, that's how much? $80. $200. So she's 15 and she's supposed to switch her attention to basic staff hat and 800 pages long. 800 pages long. And so what do she and her friend decide to do? Go to the library. Well, I'm in school now, chica. Yeah, she didn't understand any of it. I thought it was funny. She says, what does she say? Was full of multi-syllable words and referenced obscure subjects and people from the 40s through the 60s. It went on and on about how some fellows named King, Nimitz, and Short were idiots and allowed Pearl Harbor to happen. Um, they're trying to get her to understand stuff without even teaching her everything. She didn't like Martino at first, right, guys? She didn't like him at first, but she thought he sat next to Tyler, so they stayed. So she stayed. It's so interesting. Due to the way that Martina was acting, I almost took my stuff. Exactly, Chica. Yes, he did. Martino understood the lunacy of it. The rest of the morning, Marcella and I endured their ridiculous antics. When they were clearing words, they used our name in all their sentences. They called the supervisor Sarge when his real name was Sergio. Much as we tried to ignore them, Marcella and I couldn't help but laugh. And then she made another friend in Cece, and she got paired with Martino. Can you imagine to act like normal teenagers, Chica? Right? It's interesting. Nobody had ever asked her before when she saw her parents. It's also interesting that she wanted to ask. Um, yeah, exactly, Kat. And that's what Martino says to her, but you're just a kid. He was 15 too. Seriously, I would die if I didn't see my mom, he said quietly, waiting for me to respond. Yeah, but don't you miss your mom? He said, almost pleading. I mean, listen to this young man. But don't you miss your mom? But don't you miss your mom? And then I dared not show my emotion in front of Mr. Rathbun. I wanted to take the letter home so I could put it under my pillow and read it over and over again. But when I got up to leave, Mr. Rathman picked it up. I looked at her and she told me she would be keeping it as it had confidential photos of Int in it. Of course, I should have expected as much. His genuine concern almost made me cry. I It's interesting that there's a huge discrepancy between Flag Cadet Org and Ranch, and that the Flag Cadets weren't required to work. They were asked to do so, many of them would refuse. Why was the Flag Cadet Org? Well, Jenna says it's because the Flag Cadet Org wasn't in a remote place like the ranch. Um, it's just interesting. Why not have her the letter that was my question, Chica. So keep the damn pictures. What's the deal? Keep the damn pictures if she can't have them. The whole time, I'm guessing all of these incidents, little by little, did as well. The idea that Martino believed differently made me think about the whole concept of Satan with a scrutiny that felt almost foreign. And then the secrecy about the OT levels. They talked about the OT levels. And she talks about how the secrecy made her more curious. And then she questions, how can information hurt you physically? How can information hurt you physically? She's just so sensible. My discussions with Martino always possessed an openness that I hadn't encountered before. They weren't regimented or scripted. They just sort of unfolded depending on how comfortable we were and what we felt like sharing. Boy, she's falling in love with this young boy. See, he had a sincere concern that made her feel more comfortable with the skepticism he displayed about the church. It is a long process, isn't it, Kat? And then she realizes everybody else seems fake and robotic. Robotic. It was it's really interesting. Then she starts to look at, she says, after I began to spend time with Martino, I started to see they weren't just intense. They used the power of their positions to intimidate the rest of the group. The policies for our department instructed that we were supposed to help people do their jobs, she says. But instead, Julia became, "Hey, Lori, how are you doing? It's good to see you." Instead, Julia became obsessed with enforcing the rules and checking people's mail. And Olivia often went along with her, although I could tell her heart wasn't in it. They would walk around with swagger sticks carried by Sea Org members to add an authoritative presence. I am so confused, y'all. Aren't they supposed to have Tone 40 to add an authoritative presence? Why do they need a stick? 15-year-old girls with too much power. Okay, Lori. Oh, and then she talks about Libs Day and how she would spend Libs Day. Hi, child number 4. Child number 4 is not here. Sorry about that, guys. It wasn't for appearances, Fuzzy. Mhm. Walk around with swagger sticks to add an authoritative presence. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable. But it is interesting that her whole views, all of her views start to change, y'all. What's unbelievable? I mean, it's all unbelievable. She doesn't even feel comfortable to confide in her uncle's mother that her own mother is in the RPF. How weird. Not allow those glimmers of normalcy. Exactly, Chica. Exactly. What about the glimmers of normalcy? So she says, the risk of embarrassing people in my family was too great, and I was afraid of the consequences. She wouldn't, I mean, Uncle Dave wouldn't let his own mother practice as a nurse, right, guys? I couldn't understand why she couldn't understand why she wasn't allowed to be a nurse herself. According to her, Uncle Dave didn't allow it, but I had no idea why it wasn't allowed or if it was even true. So instead, David Miscavige's mother worked as an assistant for Greta Van Susteren. David Miscavige's mother, rather than working as a nurse, was required to work as an assistant for Greta Van Susteren. That just sounds so strange to me. Cat what? Yeah, I read that and I was like, "What an asshat." I don't even understand. Why an assistant for Greta? The hospital would be filled with too much free thinking? I mean, and letting your son have so much control over your own life. I mean, I'm shocked that she let him have that much control. Um, it sounds like she's got this degree of normal life. She could have told her grandma, but look at the divisions it causes within families, y'all. It's just insanity. For all Loretta's belief, the fact that her son was in charge of the entire church, she'd managed to keep her feet on the ground throughout her life. Unlike other people in the church, she didn't take herself so seriously, a quality I loved about her and one that I saw and admired in Martino. Did you guys get to see all the pictures? Should I show you all the pictures? The pictures were so much fun. So this one says that she's less than a year old in that picture with her mother and her. And this one here is from her first Christmas. Look at that. Isn't that adorable? Look at that adorable little girl. I just can't believe they dropped everything to move to California to be with the church. It's just there's her rainbow bright shirt. Says it's her favorite cartoon character. I love that she was a heroine who aimed to bring color into the world. This is in the church's LA nursery school. There are value books that teach things like sharing, imagination, respect, and truth on the bookshelf to my left. You can see that our education in Scientologist thought started at the very beginning of our lives. She is incredibly lucky to have photos, right, Chica? There's a picture of her with Justin picking her up from the bus stop after nursery school. Girly girl, that's her with her dolly and her stroller. I cut my hair short in order to be like my mom, who I missed when I lived at the ranch. Here I am in front of the motels, the austere dormitories my fellow Scientology kids and I slept in. We couldn't keep pets in our rooms, but some roamed around the ranch. I'm petting my cat Bella in this picture. This was a Sunday since I'm not wearing my uniform. You get a sense of the remote desert environment we lived in. I'm surprised they have a slide. Aren't y'all? I'm really surprised there's a slide. On a golf outing with my great-grandmother, and there's little Davy right there. You guys see him? Oops, right here. A slide for appearance's sake? That might be, Cat. I'm really surprised. And she talks about their time in Australia. She's going to be talking about coming up. And I know she's talked before about how it was a great experience because they had the opportunity to be more self-sufficient and independent than in our daily lives at home. Look at how stark and lifeless this Vista Gardens apartment is, y'all. Doesn't that just seem I mean, it seems like she's standing in a hotel room. Just really strange. Really strange. And now there she is. There she is. And I don't know, this whole chapter, I was waiting for her and Martino to get into trouble. So it wasn't surprising that chapter 19 started with people were starting to notice that Martino and I were seeing a lot of each other. I thought this was lovely. Cece, who had once had a crush on him, told me that he had completely changed since we started spending time together, transforming from the kid who was always the jokester and pest to someone who was a real person with feelings and compassion for other people. Her comment made me happy. Isn't that a sweet comment, y'all? Isn't that totally sweet? Her comment made me happy. Yeah. Martino was told he should be spending less time with me and more time working on clearing his misunderstood words. So we started working with each other only a few days per week. I'm just I desperately wanted to return the gesture of taking her hand, but I knew it would mean seriously trouble. Listen to this. Since becoming friends with Martino and his friends, I had gotten back into music, which I'd always loved. I'd even started drawing in the evenings before I went to bed. I used to do this during the 5 minutes before lights went out at the ranch or during meals. But in the years since then, all of the rules that I'd encountered seemed to have stifled my creativity. When I got back into drawing and music, I realized how much I missed them and how I hated being so confined. It felt natural to let my creative side show. Oh, Chica, I right, Chica? I saw that decision and I was just terrified. I decided to write a letter to Aunt Shelley requesting to transfer back to the ranch. In my petition, I didn't say anything about Martino. but made it clear that I wanted to rejoin the cadet org at the ranch and finish school. There was precedent for it. It had happened before. I yelled out, "Don't do it." Yeah. She just wanted to have friends and not get in trouble. I was very torn, as was Martino, who was shocked that I'd written my aunt. And then we go into the turmoil from Lisa McPherson's death, rather. The 4-year anniversary of Lisa's death. Bob Minton organized a huge picket line in Clearwater. I felt she was trying to protect Martino and herself. I think, like, she was afraid that they would cross a line. I think she was afraid that they would cross a line. And so they completely isolated them. Don't read any of the signs. Only go between buildings on the shuttles. The shuttles' windows are all covered. That would get really claustrophobic. She was deathly afraid of the RPF. It was unnerving to get out of a van or a bus and see cameras recording our every move. Sometimes, because of the filming, the buses would have to go around the block several times, causing us to miss breakfast. All of this fear of the protesters made our lives even more claustrophobic, since we were not allowed to go outside to pass from the church vans to the door of our destination. And then 2 weeks after she sends the letter to Aunt Shelley, Tom, acting CMO, announced the details of the petition that she had sent to Aunt Shelley, informing everyone that I was requesting to return to the cadet org. Everyone was looking at me. Now suddenly my private life had been made public. Even Julia, the last person I wanted to know something like this, now knew. Jenna, you are in big trouble. You have been fraternizing with cadets, and you just boss me around like you own this place. You are rude and disrespectful, and you belong on the RPF. Now get out of my office. Cricket, enjoy your vacation, sweetie. Have a wonderful vacation with your kids. Guys, we just jumped into the next chapter without doing a Xenu Marlene. So let's take a moment before we dig into this chapter further and do a Xenu Marlene, y'all. Wishing you safe adventures that don't break your wallet. Exactly, Lori. Exactly. If I recall, Cricket is in upstate New York for their vacation. And then she says she should have seen her punishment coming, not because of Martino, but because there had recently been a crackdown on girls in the CMO for flirting and related behaviors because of Olivia and Julia. They had been temporarily working for my uncle, and even though they were already married, they got in trouble for flirting with some of his staff. Ironically, she says, didn't we say this, guys, last week? Ironically, I'm pretty sure the main reason Olivia and Julia were chosen to work for my uncle was that they were beautiful, more so than anyone else in the CMO. He often worked with attractive women. You have a job taking care of 3 kitties at their house and it's dinner time? Cat, I know how the kitties can be when it's dinner time. They get up in your face and try to eat you if you don't feed them. See you next time, sweetie. Creep, creep, creep. Yeah. Myra, her roommate, in response to these violations, the church had started embarrassing people who were out ethics at muster. The idea was to put a head on a pike, as LRH wrote in one of his ethics policies, so that it would discourage others from being out ethics as well. Yes, we have, Lori. For those of you who didn't know, terrible news. Sin's husband passed today. And so I encourage you, please, um, to take a moment and say a prayer or light a candle for her. Do whatever it is you do. Yeah. And this is the link for tomorrow's stream, for tomorrow's scooter report. So what you really want to do is make sure you're at tomorrow's scooter report so we can all support Sin. I hope she is surrounded with love and strength as well. And we can all do our part, letting her know that we are here for her. It is very sad. And I don't know much more about it than that. It's shocking and terrible. So, Zenu Marlene, y'all. Zenu Marlene. Yes, Bud, Lori. Zenu Marlene, indeed. Let me see. I think I can even do. Look at this. I never get to do this. Which one? That one. There we go. A margarita and some Zenu Marlenes. Yeah. Yes, Zena Marlene. I'm just it in response to these violations, the church had started embarrassing people. Embarrassing people who were out ethics at mustard. I know I already said this, but the idea was to put a head on a pike. It's just all so vicious, y'all. It's all so vicious. So I'd watched it happen to all three of these girls. Somehow I didn't think it would happen to me so publicly. Okay, Lori. I'm sorry, girl. Sleep sweet, honey. Sleep well. I hope you wake up rested and your shift is easy for you. I hope you wake up rested and that your shift is easy for you. Still, I couldn't believe that Tom was threatening RPF simply because I'd written a petition. I don't miss night shift either. Night shift is awful. Whatever I was guilty of, whether it was my time with Martino or my desire to become a cadet again, the punishment of the RPF did not fit the crime. After all, I'd been trying to do the right thing. So then they put the people who are having problems together. Her, I mean, this whole chapter was hard to read for me, y'all. I had written the petition to Aunt Shelley in an attempt to do the right thing. I'd also told my auditor about my fraternizing with Martino, and she had assured me I wasn't doing anything wrong. Yet I was being harshly punished. They did always hold her to a higher standard, Chica. And then she decides to reach out to her dad, to try to reach out to her dad. And she gets in trouble for trying to call her parents and finds out her mom isn't on the RPF anymore. So then she gives in to Tom and she tries to be honest. Stupidly, I tried to be honest. I told him the full story about Martino, how I felt about CMO, and why I had written the petition to Aunt Shelley. As I finished, he paused for a moment as though still taking it all in. Lee, how are you? It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Here's a reminder, y'all. I'm just going to keep dropping the link to make sure and head over to the scooter report tomorrow. Lee's husband passed today, so we're just passing along the message to please everybody come to the scooter report tomorrow and tell Sin how much we care about her. Uh, yeah, Flea, it's terrible. Chica, if you hit the link, it'll tell you what time your time. It's 3:00 my time. It is really terrible, Flea. I don't know anything more than her husband passed today. That's all the information I can relay. I don't know. I don't know, Flea. I don't know if it was expected or unexpected. I mean, I think it was unexpected based on what I knew, but that doesn't mean a whole lot. That doesn't mean a whole lot. It is 7:00. It's 5 minutes to 7. So it's 3:00 my time tomorrow, and it's 7:00 here now, Chica. Yes, it's very terrible, Flea. It's really sad. And then she gets told to report 6 your time tomorrow. Good, Chica. I'm glad you figured it out. Yeah, 6 your time. That sounds right. Your Eastern time. I just the scorn. The scorn and the shame. What are you doing? Uncle Dave says. Writing my overts and withholds as I was instructed by Mr. Rathbun, I told him. I see, he said very distantly. Are you in ethics trouble? That's an excellent, excellent idea, Chica. I will do that. I will do that. That's a really important message to get out. Yes, sir, she said, almost bursting into tears. What for? He demanded. I was trying to call my parents and I got into a fight. He cut me off with a low pitched, unbelievable. There will be no more special treatment for you. I and Aunt Shelley starts with, I have been a guardian angel to you. I have been a guardian angel to you. Given you my time, looked after you, and all you have done is take advantage. What do? You find some loser and start acting like him? Ah, don't black flash on me. Everywhere you go gets ruined. I mean, just insane. If you continue this way, you are going to get your name changed to something else as it is completely out PR. Will you still talk to me? I pleaded, trying not to talk again. I don't know, Jenna, she said with a twinge of heart and just enough manipulation underlying her words. Maybe if you get through your program. I couldn't believe how I had come to this, how unethical I had been. I had risked losing everything I had worked for and dreamed about my whole life for some guy I just met a few months ago. My heart breaks at this paragraph. I knew I had to make up for this, that I had a long road ahead of me, but I vowed myself I would. As I was finishing my thought, Anne Rathbun returned to the room, closed the door, glared at me, and told me to pick up the cans. Janelle, sweetie, how are you? They always talk about Davy's violence, but sometimes emotional abuse is much worse. Yes, Chica. Yes. Janelle, we are sharing the news that Finn's husband passed today. And so we are asking everybody to try to make it to the scooter report tomorrow at 3. If you scroll up, you'll find the link. It's very sad. Yeah, Janelle, it's very shocking. I don't know anything more than that. I can't give you guys any more information. Just that try to make it to the scooter report tomorrow. And I can post the link if you can't see it when you scroll up, Janelle. Yeah, hearts to Sandy, indeed. Hi, Bridge. How are you? It's good to see you. We are just finishing chapter 19. And I have to say that last paragraph read like 1984 to me. You heard the sad news, Bridge? Yeah, it's terrible, isn't it? It's terrible. Very sad news. She goes from all of this wonderful talk about Martino to I had risked losing everything I had worked for and dreamed about my whole life for some guy I just met a few months ago. I knew that I had to make up for this, that I had a long road ahead of me, but I would vowed to myself I would. As I was finishing my thought, Anne Rathbun returned to the room, closed the door, glared at me, and told me to pick up the cans. I mean, even her parents told her she could get through this. I just, my heart broke at that. My heart broke at her going from these loving descriptions of this young man to him just being some boy. It was it's it's I think devastatingly sad. I don't know, what do you guys think? I thought it was pretty sad. So that's chapters 18 and 19, y'all. What do you think? The contrast was well done. Will you still talk to me? I pleaded. Will you still talk to me? I don't know, Jenna, she said. Maybe if you get through your program. Maybe if you get through your program. I mean, it was just a full on emotional assault. It's a full on emotional assault. This book is really hard, you guys. Are you finding it really hard? I am finding it terribly hard. Oh, God. It was so gross, Chica. It was so gross. Really disgusting. Scientology pathologizes normal human teenage life. Right, Janelle? Right? It's just. And all I could think of was 1984, y'all, with this chapter. And how they make it so they don't love each other anymore. All these parents, adults need to have a large reckoning with all these kids. Exactly, Anne. The small glimmers of happiness really emphasize the evils. I I was terrified the whole time she was having fun. I was terrified the whole time she was having fun. How are you, Anne? It's really good to see you. First Minnesota goodbye, y'all. First Minnesota goodbye. Anne passing on sad news. Sin's husband, oh hell knows, husband passed today. So we are asking that everybody who can be at the scooter report tomorrow. There's a link. If you scroll up, there's a link for the scooter report that's tomorrow. It's very sad news. Good news, y'all. Hi, Dusty Soda Dispenser, whom I also love. Wow, what? Can you hear the sound better? I got a nice little cute little you can see my mic. I got a nice little cute little jacket for my mic. You late, but you were listening. It is very sad. It is very sad. Yeah, Sin's husband. Wow, Sin. Okay. Yeah, it's very sad, Dusty. We're asking everybody to make it to the scooter report tomorrow. Show her some love. In good news, in really, really excellent news, brain fog was monetized. Yesterday. So if you're all Oh, Dusty, I'm sorry. There is Brain Fog's joining link if you're really excited about brain fog. So we've got happy things and sad things. Very sad about Sin. I feel really bad for her. Really bad for her. So what else, guys? How's the week gone? I haven't been paying much attention to Scientology this week. I've been doing other things. Sin. Yes, love and prayers. Exactly, Susan. Love and prayers for Sin. She absolutely deserves it. This is a terrible thing to have happened. Terrible thing to have happened. I am not even sure about that, Anne. I don't know. I know that she's in contact with Scooter Mom and Pup Groomer, who are no doubt helping out. But I don't know any more details. I don't know any more details at all. I hope she has friends and family nearby. I think she has a couple of kids, but I don't know how close they are. Pretty devastating. Pretty devastating. We'll take a quiet moment for Sin. I hope so too, Anne. I hope so too. It is. It is very sad. I'm going to pull a conversation question, you guys. Oh, here's a good one. Hold on. This question is, what immediately makes you feel you think less of someone? What immediately makes you feel less of someone? Well, I feel less of someone if they're unkind to the help. I mean, that's one way to judge people is how kind are they to the waitress, to the help when you go out to eat. So that's one way someone can immediately make me feel less of them. I think that's the big one. I can't think of any others off the top of my head. Do you guys have any? Yeah, how they act when they think no one is watching or listening. Yes, and that is another thing. Absolutely. How they act when they think no one is watching or listening. Dusty, you okay? Now I'm gonna worry about you, bud. The wait staff is a big one for you too? Yes, Anne. That's a big one. How do you deal with the help? Are you kind? You realized what a good person your husband was when you would see him slip pesos to people on the sly. Oh, Chica, that's so sweet. If they're racist or homophobic, yes, Janelle. I know, Dusty. I know you do. You are pretty amazing. You feel like you've met him many times as he walked into a panel. I don't even know his name, Dusty. I don't. I am very sad for her as well. I think we all are. I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. Yeah, Janelle, that's a good one to make me feel less about somebody if they're racist, if they're extremist, makes me feel less for people too. Extremists of all stripes. I have a tendency to feel less of. You like it when people do that. It's so kind, isn't it, Anne? It's really kind. I will make sure Dusty and everybody else to relay everyone's messages to Sin um, through the channels that I have. So that she knows that she has support here in this community. Second Minnesota goodbye, y'all. Second Minnesota goodbye. Need my glasses on to read this book. Read these, not these books, these pages. You're welcome, Chica. I agree, Anne. Everyone always has a bias in some areas, and when you amp it up and make it a priority, then they become evil. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ooh. What historical event? You don't know what to say? I know, Dusty. There's nothing much to say. It's very hard. It's very hard. I figured it was IMO, Ann. I know, Dusty. It's very shocking and surprising. It'll be okay, Dusty. There's not much to say except I'm so sorry, and we'll be here if you need us. We'll be here if you need us. It's a good reminder that um, it's one of my skills, Chica. I know you are, Dusty. You're the best. Like Ann says, the best we can do is say, I love you and I'm here to listen and help, even if it's being quiet and holding space. Yeah. Sometimes you've spent hours with Sin and Pup's chat. It's such a helpless feeling knowing what she's going through. Yes, Janelle. Absolutely. Absolutely. I haven't been through what she's going through, but I can't even imagine. Can't even imagine. But we are we're all going to be here for her. She's got an amazing community behind her. You guys are funny. I got to make assumptions sometimes, guys. If I really don't understand, then I'll holler. I will also find out. I'll make a community post. I'll find out what things we can do for Sin and make a community post about it so that um I thought Dusty was mine, Susan. I thought he was mine. When Marilyn just held silent space for Tony, that kind of stuff always brings it back to center for you. Yes, Anne. We can share. Okay, Susan, I'm glad. What Tony Tom guy, Dusty? What were you doing chasing this guy yesterday? In chats, you mean? Just feel terrible for Sin. The OSA list guy. Oh, really? That's the OSA list guy? Where were you chasing him? Was he in the chats? I didn't know he was like around. You got to tell me, Dusty. Oh, look at what I found, y'all. Tom has been all over. I'm going to have to get up and get him. Hold on a second, y'all. Yes, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. Yeah. Oh, how are you, honey? How are you doing? The OSA list guy is a real doofus with his predictions. And I am pissed that I'm not. Yeah. And you're pissed you're not on the list? I'm kind of disappointed I'm not on the list. Poe, have you heard the really sad news? I'm sorry to inform you. We're trying to let everybody know so they can join the scooter report tomorrow. Sin's husband, oh hell no, passed today. Your edibles are kicking in? That sounds great. I am, once I get rid of the puppy, I'm about to do Scooter Mom let you know. Okay, good, Poe. Good. The edibles are kicking in. We're going to do a Xenu Marlene when I have the puppy somewhere else, but he came up to say hi. Actually, he came up to lick my neck. He really doesn't care about saying hi to all y'all. He just wants to lick my face. Come on. Say hi to everybody. Say hi to everybody. There you go. Say hi to. That's a pretty face. No, no. There you go. Yeah. There you go. Healing. Oh, shh. Stop. Stop. Oh, stop. Pups always make things better. Indeed, they do. Indeed, they do. What kind of edibles do you do, Poe? Just gummies? Gummies are the easiest, I guess. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was nice. You could just stay like that. That was nice, just like that. Okay. Down he goes. Down he goes. They're called pot dots. That sounds cool, Poe. That's a funny name. Hey, Journey, how are you? Just like M&M's with a kick? That's funny. Hot dots. I love that name. Journey, how are you doing? Journey, we are passing on the very sad news that Sin, oh hell no's husband, 1 milligram each, so you set the dose. That's amazing, Poe. That's amazing. I am doing okay, Journey. I was really tired this afternoon, so I took a nap. That wins pot edible names, doesn't it, Anne? It sure does. Pot dots is excellent. Um, Journey, Sin's husband passed today. That is all the information I know, but we are asking people, please, to come to the scooter report tonight. Yeah, those sound excellent, Poe. Yeah, it's very sad, Journey. No Face, you're really welcome. It was so much fun to do. Now I know why Jen loves to do that. I've been waiting and waiting for Brain Fog to get her memberships up. And I was so excited. Hold on a sec. I've got somebody texting me. Oh, really? Weird, Dusty. Weird. Yeah, I see it now. Okay, Poe, take care. We will keep Sin and her family in our thoughts and prayers. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, Chica, you should have been in Brain Fog's chat today. No Face. Yeah, everyone be on the lookout for Tom. That's for damn sure. Dusty. Chica, No Face broke out the absinthe with the spoons and everything, the sugar cubes, the whole kit and caboodle. He was here, Dusty. I think he just left. Sleep sweet as Chow says, indeed. I love that saying. It started coming out my mouth. John was here, but I think he slid out, Dusty. I don't keep his attention for very long, usually. Big Daddy, indeed. It was a lot of fun. Brain Fog was in a traffic jam, and her chat, her stream was still open, but she had no signal. So we were just hanging out, waiting for her, hopefully, to come back for a while. And so No Face took it as a special event and pulled out the absinthe and the spoons and the sugar cubes and the whole kit and caboodle. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. So the question on the table is, what historical event would you most like to have experienced? What historical event would you most like to have experienced? Yeah, everyone chatted as we stared at random frozen cars. No, she never did come back, Dusty. She never did come back. In fact, I haven't checked in with her. No Face, did you hear more? Fuzzy, are you still here? Tom with a purple circle with a T is the icon. Yes. Yes, Chica. Let me see if I can show you. Let me see if I can show you. There we go. That is a tough one, isn't it, Chica? Here it is, Anne. You see him? Right here. This one. So there we go, guys. The first flight at Kitty Hawk, Janelle. That's an amazing one. What event? Now I have to think. I like first flight at Kitty Hawk. Historical event. When Elizabeth I became queen. Yeah. She was indeed a strong woman. Any historical event. And the one that comes to mind immediately is the signing of the Declaration of Independence. That's what comes to mind immediately. I like first flight at Kitty Hawk. I like Elizabeth I becoming queen. Anybody else have any historical event that you would wish to have seen? We passed by the third Minnesota goodbye, y'all. Let's see who shows up today. Third Minnesota goodbye. You've been alive to watch the Berlin Wall come down, I think, when Prohibition occurred and secret bars were around. That's a good one, Journey. I like that. I know it did, Janelle. I know. It's not like the picture. I do know that. That's the first one that came to mind. I will continue to think. Yeah, it's an event. It didn't say I couldn't be there for 2 weeks or 3. I get a nice long trip. Exactly. You spotted him right away. It was by the way he wrote. Dusty equals Osa, Cheryl equals Osa, and so on. Writing the very same way as the email. Whose stream was he in, Dusty? Ah, to be in the room at NASA when the first man on the moon happened. That would be cool, Anne. That would be cool. The Berlin Wall took so long, but when hands came through, it was amazing, wasn't it, Journey? I remember that. I couldn't believe it was going to fall. The moon landing, yeah, that made me think of Apollo 13, being in the control room for Apollo 13. But the moon landing, that's a good one. That's a good one. I don't know, I think there's a bunch. Watching it on black and white TV was epic, but to be there live, you would have peed on the floor. Yes, Anne, it is an excellent one. I'm not quite old enough to remember watching it live on black and white TV. You wouldn't wanna be there with Apollo 13, too much stress, Journey? I can imagine. Too much stress. I can't believe the ingenuity that it took to save Apollo 13. It's just unbelievable. Yeah, being responsible, exactly. Kim and I were chasing him around, and Sin and Scooter were doing the blocking. Okay. A successful failure. Indeed, Journey. You remember the teacher taking you to the auditorium to watch because it had the only TV in the school. Yeah, and it was probably like a 30-inch TV, right, Chica? A big one. A big one at the time. And everybody had to be quiet so you could hear it. I remember when Challenger exploded. We were all of us watching in school. We were watching the launch. I remember it exploding. That was pretty wild. A whole school. You'd have to go back in the email chain to see what chats it is in. Okay, Dusty, that makes sense. She was the only teacher who did it? That's weird. We saw it while visiting family in Washington State. Tiny TV laying on the carpet, and we knew we were watching history happen. Yes, and I can imagine. I can imagine. My mom's talked about how amazing it was. Only teacher who did it. That's strange, Chica. You would think more of the teachers would have done it. Yeah, the whole school watched the Challenger launch, and do you think there was, you remember when Mario was born? To be in Times Square at the end of World War II, and that would be amazing. Miss Kim did a live about it last night. Okay, Dusty, I'll go back and look. That would be amazing, Anne, to be in Times Square at the end of World War II. The console around Christmas and Sears. I think I know what you mean, Journey. Janelle, you're taking off? Okay, honey. We will see you later. Have a good evening. Catch you on the flip side. You would have kissed all the sailors and soldiers. That's excellent. Indeed. I can imagine it must have been. I mean, the ticker tape parades and I just, all the joy. This is purely Canadian. I was in grade school and every TV in the school was in the hallways watching the Canada-Russia hockey game. Wow, Chica, who won that game? The '89 San Francisco earthquake. Take care, Janelle. You were in Napa. It was a rolling earthquake that lasted minutes. I don't remember that one, Journey, but then I lived in Minnesota in '89. I wouldn't even have felt it. Rolling earthquake that lasted minutes. That must have been amazing. It was a tournament and Canada came out on top. That is excellent, Chica. I was wondering if it was a tournament or the World Championships or the Olympics. Canada-Russia hockey game. That must have been an excellent game. You were in Newark in the '89 quake? You keep saying the quakes are the reason you left California, Dusty. How was the '89 quake? The middle of the World Series. Wow, you guys. That must have been amazing on tape. The middle of the World Series. The Giants were playing, the bridge collapsed, the Bay Bridge. Sorry, guys, I kicked myself out somehow. The traffic and the cost of living kicked you out? I did go away. I hit a button on my keyboard and it kicked me out. So let me move my keyboard out of the way and I will go less away. The Bay Bridge World Series. I will have to go find that on YouTube and take a look. You're on top of Bear Creek Mountain Road and you could see all the way to the ocean. Afterwards, it was like a dust storm. And then plumes of smoke were things on burning. The top bridge collapsed onto the bottom one. Oh, I remember that, Journey. That one was terrible. That one was terrible. That must have been amazing, Anne. I just hit a button on my keyboard, Dusty, that's all. Wow, Anne. Because it just didn't end? Is that why, Anne? You remember the news reports, Chica? My brain fog gets in the way of my memories, so it is hard for me to remember specific events. It's how my brain fog works. It is annoying to say the least. Well, guys, we are at 3rd Minnesota goodbye, and nobody has shown up. Fog was in the earthquake also. Well, yeah, hasn't she lived in Oakland her whole life, Dusty? I need to go find Soda just to make Brain Fog jealous that Soda was on stream and we missed her. 9/11, you were driving to work? Oh, Chica. It was long, but seeing all the dust clouds and smoke, we thought we were trapped in the beginning forest fire in the redwoods. Wow. That would be scary, Anne. Roads closed, no phones. That makes sense. Chica, I got for 9/11, I got awakened. We were on the West Coast, but we had a friend on the East Coast who called us to tell us to turn on our television. And so that was in the minutes during which we still thought it was an accident because just one plane had hit the towers. 30 aftershocks? Wow. Earthquakes are scary. I have been through more than one. More than one, because we get them up here in Oregon and Washington too. And the Nisqually quake was pretty significant. She's your shake sister. There you go, Dusty. There you go. 9/11 was horrific. Oklahoma City was terrible. I remember Oklahoma City. Oh, you know what other one I remember is when Diana died. I remember sitting in front of the TV for when Princess Diana died. Oklahoma City, 9/11. Oh, Chica. I remember that. News reports, the news for 3 days. Yeah, it was pretty unbelievable. Pretty unbelievable. You were camping when Diana died, and when my husband arrived from work with the news, I thought he was joking. Yeah, it was terrible. I was I was like 12 when she married King Charles, Prince Charles at the time. And so she was pretty well idolized by me. It was such a princess story. Look at here, you guys. Look at what we're getting. Here he comes. You're about to get cat butted, guys. Yeah. Can you guys hear him purring? Oh, Dusty, I am so sorry. My husband's company, a week after 9/11, the investors pulled their funding and he was laid off. You're licking my nose. Okay, that's enough. The purr is awesome. Let me see if I can get it better. The Silicon Valley crash was awful. Wow, Amy. How are you doing? You win today, Amy. You are the first person after the third Minnesota goodbye. You're a retired dispatcher. Oh, chica. I didn't realize that. You waited for patients that never came. Can you look at the camera? Hmm? You were working at a city hospital and you waited for patients that never came. Yeah. All those people waiting and no one showed up. It was a terrible day. You guys. This fluffy creature, this is Soda Ann. Haven't you met Soda before? Soda is a 22-pound Maine Coon cat. Come here. Come up here. You work for the New York City Health and Hospital Corporation on the public city hospital system. Wow, Amy. Soda looks like a puddle. Yes, Dusty's cousin. Exactly. I was very confused what to call Dusty when he first showed up because just a moment, guys. The cat is practicing gravity. The cat is practicing gravity on my cart. I'm assuming the mic is picking up the purr. That's why I'm being so quiet, y'all. Okay, a happy question. Let me come up with a happy question. Let me see if I can find one. Navigate around the cat. It has been a day, hasn't it, Anne? What film, video game, or book has the best ending, y'all? What film, video game, or book has the best ending? He's the real Osa Soda. Yes, he is, Dusty. He's the real Osa. What film, video game, what did I say? What book, film, or video game has the best ending? Book, film, or video game has the best ending? Caddyshack. Oh, Dusty, you're hilarious. Blazing Saddles, that's a good one. I don't know. I like The Princess Bride. I like happy endings. Sooner or Later from 1978. Interesting. Sooner or Later from 1978. While You Were Sleeping. That's a good one. Which one when they're sleeping and swimming in the water holding hands? Wedding Date. Wow, you guys. Sooner or Later, 1978. "13-year-old Jessie is in love with Michael, a 17-year-old guitar instructor and aspiring musician." Lovely. Wedding Date, Enchanted April. These sound lovely. I'm writing them down. Oh, yes, I think so, Chica. I think you're right. Sooner or Later. Enchanted April. Wedding Date. You like stupid comedies, Harlem Nights? Harlem Nights is good, Dusty. Yeah, Rex Smith, Denise Miller, Barbara Feldon. It sounds really interesting. I will look it up, Amy. I mean, like I'll look it up, see if it's on Netflix or Amazon. It's on IMDb. IMDb says it's on Amazon. You found Enchanted April on YouTube to buy or rent? That's excellent, Chica. The cat is back, y'all. You've never made it through the movie is Autumn. Soda's back, you guys. You like old movies? Yeah, I like old movies too. Oh my goodness, cat. He is upset because it is past his eating time. So he has come here to harass me until I feed him. That is his definite plan, y'all. See the cat? It ends with us. What's it ends with us, Amy? It ends with us? I don't know that movie. Oh, I love Monty Python. My best friend's wedding, that's a good one, Susan. That's an excellent one. A movie in the theaters now? Walk Hard. Okay, Dusty, I'll write it down. The last scene in The Holy Grail? Yes. You like Marty with Ernest? I like Ernest Borgnine. Yeah, Marty. That's a good one, Amy. That's a good one. Anne, was it Anne who said we needed a happy question, or was it Chica? Maybe it was Amy. I can't remember. It was Anne. I was right. Was this a happy enough question, Anne? It has been a quiet evening. You guys, we will have Wheel of Carrie on Wednesday. And then on Saturday morning, we have the Bacon Hour. Your first cousin used to be married to Harold Ramis's first cousin. He directed Groundhog Day. That's cool, Amy. I love Groundhog Day. Harold Ramis is really an interesting character. The endings of Sense and Sensibility and Pride and Prejudice. There you go, Anne. Canadian comedians. Yes, Canadian comedians tend to be really funny. I find Canadian humor. Yes, it was you, Anne. Yeah. So I think we have reached our limit, y'all. Pride and Prejudice and Sense and Sensibility. Yeah, they're wonderful, aren't they, Chica? Okay, y'all. Here's hoping that these next couple chapters are easier to read, because this book has been, I don't know about you guys, this book has been really hard. Really hard. The level of emotional abuse is just. Oh, you'll watch Jane Eyre just for the cry factor? Oh my goodness, Anne. Yes, thank you for being here. Please remember to hit the scooter report tonight, and or tomorrow night, rather, tomorrow afternoon. I will see you guys on the flip side. Thanks for coming. Take care, you guys. It's better than a therapist session for release. That's so funny, Anne. I bet you it is. Okay, y'all. Good night.